Do you ever feel like everybody has better art than you, better music than you? You scroll and you see people posting content, they have better content than you. I just wanted to share some wisdom that has helped me a lot in the Bible because this is something that I've struggled with as well. So I just want to share this verse with you. This verse comes from 2 Corinthians 10:12, which says, "For we dare not class ourselves or compare ourselves with those who commend themselves. But they, measuring themselves by themselves and comparing themselves among themselves, are not wise." Now, the first time I heard that, I was like, I can't even believe that was in the Bible. But it's specifically Paul, and he's talking about other teachers that have come in, and those are the teachers, basically the self-appointed apostles that are commending themselves. And the way that they commend themselves are comparing themselves to one another. And Paul clearly says right here that those who compare themselves among themselves are not wise. Now, and that word wise specifically in this context, most every other time it's used in the Bible, that Greek word actually means that they don't have understanding, which means that they don't have clarity, or there is a blindness going on. And that's what I wanted to share with you, because I know sometimes that's where we get caught up when we are trying to make art, we're trying to make music that is good, but then we go and we listen to someone else's and it just sounds way better than ours, and then we get discouraged. This is something that's happened to me a lot. But what we have to understand is God has a different metric for success than a lot of humans do. And for whatever reason, we might hear something or look at something and we see how many followers they have, and we just automatically attribute that to success. But in God's economy, success is actually measured by obedience, and it's measured by faithfulness. And so these are kind of the 3 points that I wanted to share with you: is stop comparison, seek clarity, and stay connected. So what I mean by stop comparison is we need to stop measuring ourselves against someone else and then making a conclusion that we are less than them, because that's simply not the way it is. And that's what the verse is saying, is that it's actually not, it's not a truthful way to measure ourselves. And that's, people do it all the time when, they compare themselves to other people in the sense that it's, oh, I'm a good person, I'm better than, all the infamously horrible people in the world. I've never killed anybody, I've never committed a crime before. But the measure that we measure ourselves, if we are constantly comparing ourselves to other people, the goalpost is constantly moving. And so in that way, there's no objective way to actually clarify, like, are you winning or are you losing? And that's what the point seek clarity comes in, because God wants to show you where you are with clear and defined metrics. And so the clarity that we need to be seeking as artists are you living in the identity that He's called you into? And so that's I think the biggest thing. And I think that that's actually one of the things that sets apart a lot of the best artists in the world, is that you need to seek God for your identity so you could be the original creator that He created you to be. There's nothing wrong with admiring someone else's art, but the moment that you try to become that person, you are not meant to be your favorite artist. Maybe you're not even meant to be like them, but we get so obsessed with other people and other people's work and we try to copy it. And God wants to show us that there's actually power and success in originality. And so I guess what I mean by that is God has a very specific style and a specific message and a specific voice that he wants you to develop, and that's actually what's going to catapult you into success, is by being who you are. And that's what people want nowadays. People don't want the copycats anymore. People don't want just another clone of someone else. People are craving originality and authenticity. And that could only truly come from having a relationship with God and seeking who he created you to be. And so that's my third point, is to stay connected, is that we need to be constantly abiding in God, abiding in Jesus, for him to continue to reveal to us, like, okay, like, how do you want me to express myself in the way that you've created me to be? And so I guess, like, I wanted to talk about, like, healthy comparison, because I think that there is a good aspect, but I wouldn't really call it comparison. I would call it maybe analysis or reference. I don't think that there's a problem with using a reference track to get your mix dialed in or to see what structure another artist is using, but we would be better off copying principles rather than the work itself. When you do a song breakdown and you start to, I think recreating a song is really good for this. Not for releasing, but for the point of learning, to say, okay, how did they come up with this melody? What notes are they using in the scale? Like, oh, they're using the 1, the 5, and the 7 a lot. Like, and then it's like, well, why does the 1, the 5, and the 7 work together? And that, you starting to break down other people's works, now you could take those principles and apply them to your work, but in a way that you're not compromising your integrity as an artist. And I'm not saying it's sinful to copy someone else's work. I'm just saying God has more for you. And I think that he wants to do more through artists who are willing to step out in faith and go in a direction that nobody has gone before. And I think that not only is God calling us to that, but I think that people are actually dying for that and craving that fearlessness and that originality in the artistic place. So that's what I got for you guys. Stop comparison, seek clarity, stay connected to God. Hope that bless you guys. See you next time.